was homeschooled my whole entire life, okay? Never even been inside a public school. And a lot of people think homeschooled kids are extremely sheltered. And when I was in high school, I would always tell everyone, no, I'm not sheltered at all. I have so many friends, which honestly is true. I did have a pretty decent sized friend group, but looking back, the stuff I did in high school that I thought was so rebellious, public schoolers would literally laugh at. So there was this annual camping trip thing. It wasn't really camping, it was mostly just cabins. And it was for the like homeschooled group that I was a part of. So me, my best friend, and another girl that was in our friend group at the time were all hanging out at my best friend's cabin. And all the parents were leaving for a little bit and they were gonna come back in like an hour or two. So the three of us get the idea to steal one of my best friend's dad's beers because his cooler was literally sitting right there on the porch, like wide open. So we take a Coors Light and we run to my cabin with it. We get there, we crack her open. Between the three of us, we did not even drink half the can. So then we start to feel guilty. Even though only half of it is gone, we decide to pour the other half down the sink. And we're like, we can't leave the can in the trash in here because if my parents find it, they'll know it was us. So we walked to like a little community lobby center that was in the middle of the campground. And we went into their bathroom where there was like this tiny little trash can. And it was already filled up, like almost spilling out. So we dumped the whole thing out on the ground. We put the beer can on the very bottom and then filled the trash over the top of it. Like we worked hard to destroy that evidence just for me to mess it all up. We joined back up with our friend group and then we're all like slurring our words and like being all dramatic. And one of the guys is like, yo, something is wrong with you guys. Try to walk in a straight line for me. So we're like, okay. So we try to walk in a straight line and my best friend trips and falls flat on her face. And then he's like, oh, you guys had alcohol? Thought we were the coolest thing on the planet. But this is where everything goes south because on the way home from the camping trip, I start to feel guilty. So on the way home, I'm like, Mom, I have to tell you something. So I tell her the whole situation. Obviously, I get in trouble. But then where I was a really bad friend is when my mom asked me whose idea was it, and I blamed it on my best friend just to avoid getting in trouble. Not my brightest moment. But in reality, it was all of us. So because my family and my best friend's family are close, my parents call her parents and basically like, guess what our daughters did? And my best friend got in 10 times more trouble than I did, which led to a friendship breakup. Go to part 2. Part 2 of the most rebellious things I did as a homeschooled teenager. So after this, my best friend wouldn't speak to me for 3 months straight. Understandably, I pulled a really bad friend move, and we used to use our other friends in our friend group to like communicate with each other. Like she would say to one girl, tell Jessie I said this and this and this. I would say to the same girl, well, you can tell Becca I said this and this and this. And after 3 straight months of this, she took her brother's phone and like texted me on it so I would think it was him. And she said, you need to apologize to Becca, you're being a really bad friend. I said back to her brother, which was actually her, well, I've been trying, but she won't talk to me, so I can't. Then we finally FaceTimed and cried it out. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I love you. That was so messed up of me to do that to you. That's just one of many of our like rebellious things we did in high school as like homeschoolers. But we'll save that story for another day. Yeah, lessons learned, you shouldn't underage drink or backstab your best friend.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the